The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of KSMQ Public Service Media Incorporated or its assigns.
Welcome to On Cue. I'm your host, Eric Olson. Join the Journey is an organization in Rochester that helps patients with breast cancer, both emotionally and with fun, physical activities like the Making Waves Project. We'll learn more about it today. Also, Clarke will be joining me. He is the city administrator for the city of Austin. We'll find out a little more about what he does and what he has happening in the community. Also, Geoff Smith from the Community Pride and Spirit Committee of Vision 2020, looking for you to roll up your sleeves to benefit the community. Stay with us. On Cue is next.
From KSMQ Television in Austin, this is On Cue, connecting interesting issues and interesting people. On Cue.
Clarke is the city administrator for the city of Austin and has been since December of 2014. Joins me today to share some of the latest news around the community. Welcome, Craig.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yep. First time on our show.
Yeah.
Almost a year in Austin,
Great.
just about. How do you find conditions in the community?
It's great. I've been warmly received in the community, and it's been a great time. Transitioned the family over and got kids in school, and that went well, and so we're enjoying it quite a bit.
From Iowa originally, by way of most recently Worthington.
That's right.
3 children, and I have just a personal little story. I saw you, I don't know if you remember, at the Nature Center for an evening hike. They invite people there once in a while. They have public events you can go to. And Larry Dolphin, who's been on our program many times, of course, is the manager out there. And at the end of the whole proceeding in the evening, he just said, I want everybody to know that Clarke is our city administrator. It's the first time anybody who's been an administrator has been at one of my talks.
Well, yeah, I mean, what a great asset for the community and be able to be involved in that. And part of this job is getting fully jumped in with both legs, and so I've done that and enjoying it quite a bit.
Plus, you sat out in a field in the dark with a bunch
looking
of
for a
us out
woodcock.
there.
Yeah, that was quite a fun time. My son and I enjoyed that.
Role of the city administrator in a nutshell.
Well, really, sometimes I kid and tell folks I'm a firefighter because I put out fires, but really as a practical matter, the chief administrative officer for the city, help coordinate with the city council and department heads, carry out the wishes of the city council, and then handle day-to-day administration of the city.
And getting to learn about the issues in our region. One of the biggies that I know you've been involved in is housing.
Right.
The lack of affordable housing for a lot of the folks from our big employers. Hormel, they come here, the clinic, they come here.
Right.
And the goal is to have housing that they can move into. This past legislative session, you have some background also in the in state government.
Yes.
Senator Sparks sponsored some legislation to try to help, and it seemed like you have everybody on board, and then it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, I guess just initially, housing is a critical issue for our employers in the community, trying to find housing. There's many stories of folks coming to the community and having trouble finding housing, certainly rental housing, probably more so than even the single-family homes availability. But really what we're seeing is just a breakdown of the market, of the housing market, in order to be able to provide the supply necessary for folks. Based on that, we tried to put forward some legislation. The senator helped us quite a bit in advancing that, and unfortunately at the end of the session, when you kind of go left or right, it ended up going the wrong way for us, and only got a modest proposal through to make some changes, but we'll build on that and hopefully come back next session.
Mm-hmm. And the reason the state would be involved?
Well, really, like I said, the housing market is broken. You tend to think, well, geez, if there's the need for it there, why isn't it coming about? Well, the available rents and the cost of construction, when a developer is looking to develop in a community, they have a fixed cost for that development, whether they place it here or in Rochester or the Twin Cities. When they have a fixed cost of that building, they're putting it where there's a higher rent availability and there's more people to fill the units. So it's a risk-reward type deal, and they're putting their money and investment in a larger metropolitan area than in greater Minnesota, where we have this particular vexing problem for our communities to grow our population, but also our job base and our businesses.
Because I just, as someone who doesn't know the issue, I just would figure it might be less cost in a rural area to build, but it's a fixed. Yeah,
probably cost of construction is going to be relatively the same. You might have some advantages of lower cost labor, but generally your shingles and your 2x4s and those types of things are going to be the same no matter where you're at.
So maybe next session get a little more.
Right, it's really just trying to bridge that gap of the cost of construction and making the rents affordable so people can afford the rents and the developer can have a reasonable profit and the projects can go forward. We really haven't seen a project in 30, 40 years in the community, and that's a common occurrence in a lot of rural communities across the state.
Have you been spending more time than you would have thought on this issue or that? What's taking up a lot of your time?
Oh boy, well, it's an exciting time to be in Austin. That's one of the reasons I decided to come here with the projects, working with Vision 2020 and the like, and just regular community projects, double the size of where I was before. So it's an exciting time with all those things coming together. So whether it's the rec center and working on that or other projects, you know, the less glamorous projects still move forward as a community. So just involving all those things. I suppose I hope to have brought a little bit more focus on some of the legislative things moving forward and being involved. You know, our state government can't be responsive to our needs if we're not there asking for some help to bridge those areas to help communities like Austin. So done a lot of work on that, but yes, generally as far as the workload demand, there's always a new issue every day, so it's a great time to be here in Austin.
And plenty of maybe being the mediator, is that your role? Like,
yeah.
Or a sounding board between the public or groups and then the people who have to write the law or enforce a code or city council, that kind of stuff?
A little bit of all that, yep. It's whether coordinating or facilitating or trying to problem solve. I mean, each issue is a little bit different, but it kind of gets squared in the context of what our policymakers have instructed us to do and carry forward. So,
and one thing that you see the city council meetings on television, if you can, but a lot of things that go on in a city you don't really know about that much. And you have an idea afoot to start a video blog. Talk a little about that.
Yeah, one of the council goals that they established was to be a little bit more a digitally inclusive community and reaching out in different mediums for our constituents. You know, a lot of times constituents don't have the time to watch a city council meeting for its duration, so what we've tried to do is a video blog where I'll kind of recap the city council meeting in hopefully a 5-minute time span, just to hit the highlights and those sorts of things, so those that are busy but still interested, we can kind of give them some heads up of what's going on in the community. We'll also have department heads talk about various topics that are of particular interest, or we want to try to communicate a little bit better with the constituents and just reach out in that regard.
Oh, that's a great idea. Is it something on the the city webpage?
Right.
Or how would somebody see it?
It'll be based on our city webpage, but that'll redirect you to a YouTube video, and you can also get there via our Facebook page.
Okay. And so you have a little opportunity to maybe give a little feedback too if you're a citizen.
Absolutely.
Do you take a lot of phone calls just from the general public? Or?
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, we can't do a good job if we don't understand what the issues and concerns are for people, so we always welcome their contact with us, and hopefully we can answer their question. We can't always guarantee them that they'll like the outcome or the answer, but we owe them the responsibility to give them a timely response and answer their question as best we can.
Or the city council member for their ward. I mean, are there different, if you have this kind of question, you should call a city person or you should call your city council person?
Yeah, really, we don't want there to be any barriers for our constituents to reach out, if they feel most comfortable contacting the mayor or city council member, certainly that's great. Those are the folks they've seen at their doorstep at election time and that sort of thing. So if that's where they're comfortable, certainly that's a way that they can access the city or call the administrative office directly. Either way, whichever works for them, email. We've got a lot of different ways that they can contact us, so encourage their involvement whichever way they like.
So you probably have big files on your desk, one of each for, let's see, New Spam Museum, Turtle Creek 2, business recruitment, development, quite a lot going on.
Well, there are, and really it's a teamwork effort. We really rely on department heads and all our staff members in the community to help get the product, I guess, that we're looking for. So it's a real teamwork effort, and I've been blessed to be able to come into an environment where department heads and city employees are committed to serving the public.
Do you hear any in those department head meetings? There's been quite a bit of noise in the media about thefts this summer. Seems like it's more than usual, or is it not?
You know, sometimes we get distracted a little bit, not to minimize those unfortunate times and those occasions. In a larger city, I think, you know, a lot of those things happen and nobody knows anything about it. But generally, you know, we try to address those on a case-by-case basis, but I think the bottom line that we need to focus on is that we have a safe, clean community, and we should be proud of.
Wonderful. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And come back again anytime.
Absolutely,
when you
will
have
do.
New initiatives or just want an update. Craig Clarke, Austin City Administrator. We'll be right back.
For more information about the great city of Austin, Minnesota, just go to ci.austin.mn.us.
You can watch On Cue anytime by visiting the KSMQ TV website, ksmq.org.
Well, we're back, and now we're going to be talking about an organization in the Rochester area called Join the Journey, and we have two special guests with us. We have Kathy Williamson, who is a longtime Making Waves participant and member of the board of directors for Join the Journey. And then we have Carol Phillips, who is the Making Waves program director. Welcome to On Cue, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for having us today.
You bet. Well, I'm interested in learning more about your organization. The little peek that I took said that this organization, Join the Journey, started with a basket of scarves. Kathy, can you tell us more?
Yes, there were 3 women that got together over their kitchen table to help people with breast cancer. 2 of them were survivors, and the other one was just a friend. It was Effie Simos and Patty Ellen were the survivors, and their friend Margie Laprinzi. And they, in 2005, decided to form a group that would help women on their breast cancer journey. And the organization is growing from there, and our mission is to promote breast cancer awareness and to support individuals on their breast cancer journey.
Great. And so this is just a private nonprofit, just a group of women that got together, and it's really grown. I'm amazed at the number of things that you guys do.
Oh, we have quite a few things that we do. We do quite a few awareness things in the community, and we're very active that way, and also at Mayo Clinic too. One of our premier programs that we have is the Pink Ribbon Mentors, and that is a group of volunteer women who have survived breast cancer, who go into Mayo Clinic and help people on their journey who have been recently diagnosed.
Really helps to talk to someone, I'm sure, who's been through that process already.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then those women hand out our essentials bag and the Mayo Clinic breast cancer book to the people that have been newly diagnosed and offer any type of assistance that they might need.
So what's in an essentials bag?
In the essentials bag, it's a gift card for gas at Quick Trip, cozy socks, deodorant, hand sanitizer, journals for people to write in, note cards if they wish to write cards to somebody, tissues, Vanicream, and the Voices of Hope DVD that kind of outlines, what it's like to go through the process.
Okay,
yes.
Well, this is an organization that has really grown. I'm interested in finding out about how you gals decided to become involved in the organization. Carol, what brought you to Join the Journey?
I was diagnosed with breast cancer about 4 years ago, and I learned about the Join the Journey organization, going through my appointments and things through Mayo Clinic, so that's how I got to know the organization, and to be really, they really helped me through a lot of difficult times, and I really appreciate their support. And
now you're giving back.
yes,
Yeah, you're helping others who have gone
yes,
through the same thing.
Right. I been participating in Join the Journey for the last 3 years, but Making Waves specifically has really, it's our Dragon Boat team. It's our team that we get together every Wednesdays during the spring and summer and just get out on the Silver Lake Park. We paddle there.
So what is a dragon boat? That sounds exciting.
Dragon boat is basically a boat that has 20 paddlers. And
that's a lot of ladies in
yes,
one boat.
20 paddlers. Then you have a steersman that steers the boat in the back, and you also have a drummer in front that is drumming to the beat of the paddling.
Do the cadence, okay.
Timing and things like that to the boat. So.
All right. So Kathy, is this something that you guys have done as an organization for a long time?
Yes, yes. It started back in 2005. Join the Journey did, and then they picked up the Making Waves, and that kind of came under the umbrella of Join the Journey.
Okay.
And the old thought was that when women had breast cancer, that they should not exercise, and that it was not very good for them to move at all. And research has found that actually paddling is very beneficial to women. It helps them to develop their chest muscles a bit, and it helps with lymphedema and circulation to help improve the lymphedema and circulation too. So it's really been medically proven that it's a good thing for women to exercise and to do this. And as Carol said, it's good camaraderie, and it's fun to just be out there and share each other's life and story and what's going on.
Kathy, help us understand some of you do outreach education, and there's some good information on your website in terms of being aware, self-checks that give us the basics on breast cancer and what people should be thinking about in terms of identification.
Of course, everybody should be doing their monthly self-exams and checking to make sure that there's nothing that's amiss at all individually. And from there, we try to just make sure that people understand about the disease and helping each other out.
So I saw that you also are involved in many kind of community activities that are out there. You have a walk. I saw you recently had some participation in a rodeo. Tell us a little bit about some of the outreach events that you guys are engaged in throughout the community.
We go to several different events, and luckily our organization has been asked to participate. So we did the Tough Enough to Wear Pink rodeo. We'll be involved in the Deer Creek Speedway. As Carol mentioned, we participate in the Rochester Fest Parade. We go to the Chatfield Parade. We do Relay for Life is another thing that we do outreach for. We try to have our brochures around Rochester so that people know that they can access Join the Journey for any resource information at any time.
And tell us your website, because there is a ton of information there. So give that to the audience so that they can
go on to jointhejourney.us. It's all one word, jointhejourney.us, to access information about our organization. Our annual walk is always the 3rd September of every year, and anybody can participate in that.
What day of the week are you? Third Saturday?
Third Sunday of the year that we do that.
Great.
So there's opportunity. We have a volunteer site too on our website, and we invite anybody to come and join us and volunteer for any of the activities that we're in. We're always looking for people, and they need not be breast cancer survivors. Anybody is welcome, friends and family, supporters.
Because that's important. You really need a network to be around you, don't you?
Absolutely. And we've found too that when we paddled, that sometimes our supporters needed somebody to talk to kind of like talk about what is it like to be a support person for somebody who is going through the cancer process. And from there, a support group has been created that meets the first Wednesday of every month at Hope Lodge, and that is for anybody with any type of cancer can go to that support group. And also, there's a group for supporters that meets as well that same Wednesday night at the same time.
Right. Well, you guys have a ton of things that you do to support those in the breast cancer community. It's just wonderful the work that you do, and hooray for all the survivors out there that can come back as volunteers as well too. So thank you so much for coming in and sharing your information. Again, jointhejourney.us. All right. Great. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Carol. Good luck with the rest of your year.
Thank you very much.
All right. Stay with us. More On Cue is coming up. Next, we'll get our Vision 2020 update.
Queue up your own comments for On Cue and send them to us at onq@ksmq.org. On Cue's Vision 2020 segment is brought to you by Hormel Foundation, Games People Play, and Turtle Creek Estates.
And welcome back to On Cue. Time now for our weekly Vision 2020 update. Geoff Smith joins us, graffiti artist extraordinaire. Not really.
Yeah.
But it's your committee, the
That's
Community Pride and Spirit. I think it was last year you were here talking about the community as a cleanup method to turn unsightly areas of town into pieces of art. How's that going?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, last year was the first year, and it was fantastic. It really was fun. If you're ever behind the Paramount, there's a couple spots that are actually art, I would say. They're very nice. Some of the stuff that had been graffiti, and a couple of artists went in and did that. Then there's some stuff around like the mill pond that you could see, a bit more amateurish. We had kids and middle schoolers and adults, but a lot of fun. It looks a lot better.
And this goes through the city park and rec department, right? So they identify, do they identify the sites if you have a group that wants to do this?
Yeah, well, I guess if you're around town and you see a spot that you want to hit, you can certainly let them know. Otherwise, there's different spots that they can probably tell you about. But yeah, you just go in there, sign a form, and it's really simple. And then you get to go. You don't have to use spray paint, but you can if you want, or you can paint by brush, however you like to do it.
And folks, understand that people like Geoff are 100% volunteers. They came together on this Vision 2020, 3 or 4 years ago, whatever it was, and are making things happen like this that weren't there before. But another facet is the committees collaborate with established groups, like Habitat for Humanity it's CHIP is the acronym.
Right, yep, the Community Home Improvement Project. And that's, right, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. If people already have stuff figured out, and then we're happy to just, add a little muscle to it or help get the word out or whatever. But yeah, so
that's what I'm sorry to interrupt, that's what you're doing with Habitat, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so Habitat and HRA are both involved in CHIP, and then what we do is there's a process that people can go through. Anymore, it's all kind of headquartered at Habitat. So homeowners that need some help, that maybe their house has kind of gotten away from them, and maybe they don't have the funds, or maybe they're older, or or infirm, or for whatever reason aren't able to maybe paint their own house or whatever. So then they'll apply and get kind of approved, and as long as that happens, then we'll go in with a group and paint or take out the brush. The homeowners are expected to chip in. There's if it's whether financially or with sweat equity, they'll do about half of it.
And I would guess, folks, that this would be a great way to dip your toe into the water of volunteerism. Instead, people think, well, Habitat for Humanity, they're going to take care of it all. They have their group, and you're on the sidelines. But this way, to join a Vision 2020 group such as yours, you can show up once and try it on for size and see if you liked helping out.
Yeah, you don't have to be a carpenter or an electrician. I mean, if you've got skills, great, but if you if you just want to sling a brush or cut down some brush, it's a really, like you say, a very good intro to it. We're having a blitz this year, so
Right, Blitz Weeks. What's that mean?
So we're gonna line up as many of the properties as we can to be ready for work from June 22nd through the 27th, and then we'll do that again in the fall. Another week, that'll be the same week as the United Way Day of Caring. I'm not sure if they've settled on an exact date for that yet, but that's gonna happen then, and so that if they've got a group together, they know when it is, and it can be during the day or it can be after work, and we'll have lots of projects lined up.
More projects in a limited time, so hopefully
Yep.
you get those folks involved all
Yeah.
week long. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yep, and churches or individuals, there'll be lots to do. There's different businesses that have groups come. Rotary will have a group there.
Good. Well, thanks, Geoff. This has been very informative as always. Thank you for your service to the community too.
You bet.
Geoff Smith, Vision 2020, Community Pride and Spirit. And that'll do it for this edition of On Cue. I'm Eric Olson. We'll see you next time.
On Cue is a production of KSMQ Television in Austin, nonprofit public television.